Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Indie Creative Comics Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Angel, with John Pepe.
How's it going, Angel?
Woo, you know it's going. It's another week, brother. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good?
Starving myself for Thanksgiving Thursday.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. It's crazy because we were just talking about that today, too. And I was like, you know what? Most people, if they have an early dinner, it's probably going to be like around 4 or 5 o'clock. But because my brother-in-law has to be at work at 2, we get to have first dinner at 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to first dinner, then second dinner, dessert, then third dinner, and then just out for the entire
Now
night.
you got to fit a nap in there somewhere.
Ooh, I'll be napping throughout. I'll probably be eating and napping at the same time.
Nice.
It's crazy, but yeah, it's amazing that it's almost the end of the year already.
I know.
Like 2025 was just in and out, so
Yep.
it's kind of scary when you figure after Thanksgiving passes, we've only got about 4 weeks to
Yep.
Christmas.
Yep.
It's so quick, and then that's it. The week after that's New Year's, and then 2026.
Yeah. But what's kind of fun, so it's always fun with the Wednesday release date to get new comics on Wednesday and be able to read them during the downtime on Thanksgiving Thursday. Always been a thing I loved as a kid, especially if like conversations get boring or you don't want to be involved, you can sneak away and read some comics. And so this year is a little unique because, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve always fall on the same day. And this week they're both Wednesdays.
Yes.
So
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that Christmas Eve and Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve always fall on the same day.
Yeah.
So we get New Comic Day the day before Christmas and the day before New Year's. So you got a lot of reading you can catch up on those days off.
I need to. There's a bunch of boy rivals that are sitting there that I need to get on there. But all right, good. Just hello everyone. Welcome to another episode. So listen, I think did have some inquiries. So what do? John and I basically get together every week and we discuss new indie or creator-owned comic books that hit the shelves. But we're on a couple of mediums as well. So we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on podcast, Apple, wherever you can listen to us, but you can see us as well. So oftentimes we'll say, hey, can you see this? So if you're just listening, just know that we're pointing at the camera with something that people can actually see. That's what's different about doing it over a couple of mediums, is that you don't know if somebody's just listening to it, or if somebody's on YouTube, or if they're on Spotify, because Spotify has video. Oh, it's had video for a while, but you can upload, but you can just listen if you want to and not have the video, unlike YouTube where it's just video. So yes, so if we're pointing sort of at the screen, and you're just listening, just know that yes, we're waiting a comic book in your face.
And if you're not watching this on video, and you want to see what we're talking about, then go out and buy the comics.
Yeah, I got a Raz.
I was gonna say, speaking of being seen,
Raz
Stop 7373. Hey, right back at you.
Yeah, we got a couple of people on there. So if you guys are on YouTube and you are gonna write comments and stuff like that, I'll try to get to them. But so like I said, it's crazy because I just have somebody say, hey, are you showing something? And I'm like, yes, we're showing something. So we have books that we review and we try to show some of the art that's on there that we admire and stuff like that. So this week will be no different. However, what I'm going to do is try this little new format, because what I'm going to throw up onto the screen is
Yay! Throw up out of excitement. That's awesome.
Yes.
Congrats.
Dude, listen, so excited. Yeah, we hit goal on Kickstarter with Project Shadowbreed issue number 1. So we got our first stretch goal that we got out there. So I made 4 brand new trading cards. So the book is in black and white, and when the original trading cards that we had were in color. So I thought I wanted to keep the theme the same throughout. So we got 4 trading cards that are included in every physical contribution. So they're all black and white, shiny. So they're looking super mint, which I'm really excited about in this respect. So
and 3 weeks, just to look like a day or two over 3 weeks, you hit your goal, and that's fantastic.
Yeah. So we still got about 2 weeks left, which I'm really excited about. We're gonna have the creator of Project Shadow Breed, Justin Bartz, and the other half of Indie Creator Comics. He's going to be on very soon, and we're hoping to have that episode up this week, so you can hear it from the horse's mouth. Everything Project Shadow Breed. So he's just this like nonstop of just ideas that are coming from his head. Like he's just so far ahead in the story. I can't wait till we get there. But we're just at the very beginning, which is also really exciting. And with you having read the book and giving us not that you're biased or anything, but giving your honest review on the book and what your thoughts were, and knowing what was going to be attached to it, like the journal attachments and stuff like that, to kind of make the story more complete, was really cool. So we're really looking.
Yeah. If it sucked, I would have told you. I absolutely
no. I know you would have told. You would have said it sucked. You would have just said
it's all right.
There was
good.
The bobbing of the head and like
it's a comic book. It's got panels.
Oh wait, look! I like this comment.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the best.
Okay, we deserve everything. Thank you so much for that.
At Eric Roberts 4127.
4127. So so we're really excited. We did hit go, but we're still about 20 days left in it. So I'm gonna throw up the QR code. If you want to check it out, that'd be cool. And help support independent comics, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, really super excited off of that. So yeah, all right. So we do have some reviews for you this week.
And just really quick, again, I love that people are commenting. And again, if you are watching this on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, comment there. Whatever you're doing, if you're even just listening audio, whatever that service, give a thumbs up. It does really help. Helps push us along the algorithm, so more people can see. And
more people can see. Yes, You're always selling, bro. I love that you're always selling. I'm like the worst business person that's selling anything. I just want to talk about comics. That's it.
You know what? You know why? Because at the shop, I had a nice little streak last week. I sold an X-Men #1. Helped sell an X-Men #1, $3,700. Really not. I mean, low grade, but boy, this guy was really happy to get it to add it to his collection. So you get that buzz, you get that you want to keep going, you want to keep riding that track.
I can't wait till we get more indie or creator owned stuff that sells for that. Like the only thing that I could think of right now that would probably sell for a decent price would probably be Turtles.
Turtles, any of the Mirage Turtles, sure. Walking Dead #1. I mean, that's
Walking Dead.
The Wizard 1/2. If you have that, that's pretty mint. If you can get a hold of one of those, especially if it's still polybagged in the original magazine, but that's rare.
Yeah,
but
it's not as many.
They're there, but they're there. Yeah,
they're coming. Soon. But when we get something huge, then we got to wait 50 years. For it to accumulate. But all right, cool. So really exciting. So look out for that creator spotlight with Justin Bartz, the creator of Project Shadow Breed. That'll be on sometime this week, probably by Wednesday, because that's when we have the news release dates for those. All right, wonderful. So let's get right into it. We are into reviews. And I think John and I both read the same book. So what I'm going to do...
About time that happened again.
I'm going to shift it over to him and give him an opportunity to, talk about it.
All right. So, this is from Image Comics. It is called Final Boss. You have the main cover up there. I got the Ryan Ottley variant. I always like Ryan's work.
Hold on a second. Let me see that. It's
always
awesome.
Very kinetic. And I just, you know what? Yeah, it's a black and white with just the main color being the blood and the red, which I think really lends itself to this material in this comic, because boy, is this is something else, this book. I had a lot of fun with this. I want to touch back on a couple things from last week. First and foremost, you were praising Youngblood #1 for the fact that it brought back that sort of extreme high octane 90s comic action.
Yes.
And it's nice to turn off your brain and just enjoy what's on the page for you without having to think. I do a lot of those real heavy kind of thinking guy pieces occasionally. So this was such a breath of fresh air for me, because this is exactly what this is. This is high octane 90s bloody fighting comic where you could just turn off your brain and just enjoy the ride. I absolutely loved it. I loved the Mortal Kombat Street Fighter-esque video game atmosphere that kind of shows up towards the end of this, which I thought was really, really cool, which reminded me something I neglected to mention with American Caper #1 that I reviewed last week. The writers on that book actually are responsible for the Grand Theft Auto games. There's a very important piece I forgot to mention there. So if you like Grand Theft Auto and you want to sort of sit back and read something from those guys, American Caper #1, I can't recommend that enough. That was from last week. But yeah, today
you could actually pick it up while you're waiting for GTA 6.
Yeah, I think
delayed like multiple times.
Yeah, I think they'll get 5 volumes of American Caper out before that happens. But yeah, it keeps getting delayed. But yeah, but today we're talking about Final Boss. Fight, Power Up, Repeat. You know a book is good when it's got a ton of pull quotes praising it by a whole bunch of great creators on the back. And this is... there we go. This is created and written and illustrated by Tyler Kirkham, fantastic artist in his own right.
Mm-hmm.
He does have an art assist with David Miller, colored by Ifansia Noor, lettered by Troy Pateri, logo, book design, and edit, Phil Smith, production by Zen, and a special thanks to Vince Aiken. And so this book is really neat because, again, I was expecting something really mindless and not have to think too hard. And we open right away in the Pacific Theater in World War II.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is not what I was looking for, but let's see where this goes. And you basically have the sequence that plays out a little similar to the opening of Saving Private Ryan on that first page there. And you are following this soldier who wanders into a cave and finds something he doesn't quite understand. And before you can understand what it is, we are thrown into the present day. And apparently that was a dream from this soldier's grandson. And so basically the first, few pages of this, it is a lot of first person narrative from our main protagonist, Tommy Brazen, which I love those names that are just so on the nose for a character. It's great. Tommy's a fighter. He's a brawler. He's ex-military. I don't want to say he's not too bright, but he is just very focused on specific things. And first and foremost is following up on these dreams he's been having about his grandfather. He's just doing these really messy, dirty jobs in order to gain enough money so he can go overseas to unravel this mystery. Part and parcel of that is a pendant that his grandfather had given him, which does interesting things to his body physically, and then later more ethereally, as we find out during this first issue. So this guy, aside from basically being a leg breaker for hire, he also fights in these very illegal underground mixed martial arts brawls. And that is where the ultra violence comes into play. You basically are catching up with him after the night after a fight where he basically passes out while patching himself up because these fights are that brutal. And right away he's got another big fight. And this is sort of, this is with the champ of champs in this underground fighting ring. And I have to say, this is such a grimy, dirty, illegal atmosphere that and everybody is so rabid for their bloodlust and to watch the fights go on that even when one of the contestants murders his own manager right before one of these fights, nobody bats an eye. Nobody cares. They just want the fight to get on. And it is a brutal knockdown, drag out fight between Tommy and this guy Chain Pain. And it is wild. It goes all over the place. The action is just the action is so kinetic. It is so brutal, and it is a lot of fun. And I don't want to really give too much up away, like with how this first fight resolves in this, because it's just insane. And again, the circumstances that go down in this ring, nobody bats an eye. They just want another fight. There's no doubt about it. And one of the really neat things that they do in this is you sort of have a grid in the back that kind of gives you all these little fighting slots.
Yes, like the fight
built
tree.
around the fight tree, which is that pendant that he inherited from his grandfather. And by my count, looks like we got about 10 issues of just insanity ahead of us. So bring it, bring me more. I want to know who the final boss is. I have a feeling we might know who it is, but it also might swerve a little bit.
Right,
It might be a
right.
narrative swerve.
Right.
But I in my sense, I kind of see where this is headed, and I think it's going to be a really interesting confrontation towards the end, as a lot of this little running mystery will be resolved. But we're going to get a lot of, if it's like this, we're going to get a lot of gory, bloody fights along the way. If you love Mortal Kombat, if you love video games, if you love Rocky movies, if you love that first scene in X-Men when Wolverine, when we see Wolverine fighting in the cage, this is it, man. This is the book for you. Final boss, Tyler Kirkham and company from Image Comics. I dug it.
Yeah, I like it when it's got that 90s sort of like simplicity, and that's not to knock it down or anything like that. It's just it's really clear storytelling in regards to what his motives are, what he's trying to do, and then it's just a whole bunch of action. It's sort of like that melancholy, oh, this is me, poor me, sit down and then go out and just fuck some people up, which is fantastic. What I did like though was the little Easter egg they threw in there. I don't know if you saw it, but it was in the background of his, there was a Bloodsport poster of Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yes. And I was like, oh my God. And for me, because if it's a shout out to like Jean-Claude films, the film that I think that would probably have been better, but not most people know it, would have been Lionheart.
Yeah,
Lionheart was those illegal fighting things that he was doing in order to, and that's kind of where he's at. And he's like making nothing for risking his freaking life in these rings. It's barely enough. But as far as the first issue, I mean, you got some exposition in regards to, who he is and what's happened in his past and kind of what's haunting him and why he's doing what he's doing. So you have his motivations in there. Listen, Tyler Kirkham's art is great. I have his freaking hardcover of his art, which is freaking awesome. Just, I mean, his panel layouts and stuff like that are really cool. And the stories, without having too much depth into it, it's fucking great. Because it's just pretty much just that straightforward. You got your tortured fighter, and then he goes in getting his ass whooped, and then you find out what happens at the very end of this issue. So yeah, like go ahead.
Oh, I like the play on the trope of, because it seems like almost every like second or third page, Tommy is sort of introducing himself to the reader, and it's sort of almost like this guy is like really concussed, and so his internal monologue is sort of like this, right? But I kind of like with each time he gives that little, this is who I am, what I do, you get a little bit more of a piece to his story, so it does kind of build. So I kind of dug that. But yeah, it's this sort of like, you kind of feel for this guy a little bit, because he's definitely a little punchy, I think, from all this.
And I like the back and forth between the internal dialogue and it's throughout the entire issue, even when he's fighting.
Yeah.
So he's not talking to the characters themselves, but he's got this internal dialogue that he's struggling with and kind of letting the reader know on, what he's feeling at that particular moment, which is cool. Yeah, I dug it. I'm gonna continue with it and see where it goes. If it is 10 issues and it finishes off there, that'll be cool. I'm along for the ride on that. And
as far as we know, this is very much its own thing. And it would be interesting though to see if Kirkham is able to maybe bring in some other Image characters to kind of fight along the way. Again, it seems as of now there might be a finality to each of the fights, so I don't know exactly if that is something that would work. But it just kind of it almost feels like it almost screams for some sort of guest star cameos in this world.
So, I would love it if the Savage Dragon showed up. I think he'd be perfect in his book as a cop.
Yeah,
coming in and busting up some stuff, and then they end up having a fight. That'd be freaking fantastic.
And again, who knows where this is going to go, because it doesn't seem like, because again, now he's got this money, that he needs. So he's going to go off on a journey. Is he going to encounter more fight clubs along the way? Or are these going to be fights in the wild? So again, just like with the Mortal Kombat tournament, or how Street Fighter is laid out, the best of the best come along, like the Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon or Return of the Dragon, that kind of idea of a competition that he might be heading towards that is international. I mean, there's a lot of room for this to go, and
we'll see where it goes.
Excited to see where it goes. Yeah,
that'll be cool. All right, guys, check it out. Final Boss from Image Comics. All right, moving on to mine. This is not so much new, but sort of like new-ish material being re-released again. So I got to read Capes. So this is another Image book, and this is sort of a revamping. So this was a 3-issue that came out, I think, in the fall of 2003, and it's in the Invincible universe. Yeah. So the Invincible universe has obviously Invincible and his father Omni-Man, but then there's a whole bunch of these superhero groups that are owned by corporations or different factions and stuff like that. And this is one of them. So you got the main guy up there, Bolt, is who's in this book. Machine Head is a bad guy that you've seen in the animation and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And then a couple of people up in the back. Kid Thor is sort of like the new guy on the team. So basically what they did is they took the old material and the old team. So it's Robert Kirkman writing, and then you've got as an artist Mark Englert, and then Russ Wooten on letters. So they actually took the 3 issues, recolored them, added additional panels or changed panels and dialogue as well to kind of update it for now. And then they're going to continue with the series afterwards. So the first 3 issues got revamped, and then as far as I understand, it's going to be a continuing series. And I think after issue 7 or at issue 7, then there's a new creative team that's coming on board to continue the stories and stuff like that. I don't know if Robert's going to continue writing and it's just a different artist, but that's my understanding. And so basically you have Capes Incorporated, and you have a flashback in the beginning with Chronodile. So if you're familiar with the story, it's almost pretty much the same. I never read the original off of it. From what I understand, it's pretty close to the original with introducing the same amount of characters they had previously. And then basically you just have Bolt, who is stopping this guy called Medallion, who looks a little bit like Doctor Strange, weirdly enough, and just crushes him in the very beginning. And you sort of have him going back to headquarters being late for taking a new recruit on tour, which is Kid Thor. He gets introduced to the team. He takes him around. So this is a really good introductory issue. If you've already read this before, I believe there are some significant differences, so it might be worth picking up. If you like superhero tropes, if you like superhero teams, if you like Robert Kirkman, if you like Invincible, then this is pretty much up your alley. The colors in this book are fantastic. If you know Robert Kirkman, then you know his writing and stuff like that. But I think the way that they recolored everything, just modernized everything, is just really, 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 really cool. All the action and stuff like that, like this guy's falling onto the car with these guys talking to superheroes. And it's funny, you think superheroes don't drive cars, especially ones that have capes. But yes, there you go. And then you have I think his name is Concrete, which is funny because he gets knocked out by freaking let me see if I have it, because that's freaking cool. So yeah, if you look at the top panel, you got Kid Thor just knocking the freaking rock skin off him, and then he turns into his human form off of that. So yeah, I mean, it's fun. If you know Robert Kirkman, I know his work, Walking Dead, or if you've read Invincible, then it's got that same. What I like about him is each character has a distinct voice, but there's a charm to it. There's no malice or anything in the characters, even the bad characters. So it's almost like if I had to give it sort of like this resemblance, it's almost like reading The Incredibles. That's the way that it reads to me in that sense. But it's entertaining and it's fun. And some of the characters will have some more depth than others. Like he even went as far as like this. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but I forgot what her name is. But she's going over to one of these guys and saying that her husband's out of town for the weekend, who wants to come over for fun. And these two guys have to be next to each other in order for them power to be, great. And he's like, well, I can't be that far away from so-and-so. And she's like, I'm talking to both of you. So I was like, oh, that's a little hardcore. And we're not. Okay. And then towards the end, we have sort of like this prison break from one of the prisoners that they had in there, the super strong guy. And then that's kind of our cliffhanger off of there. So I think the first 3 issues will be quite similar to the first 3 issues back in 2003, but with some differences. And then it'll continue on. So yeah, if I'm in, because I just finished reading the first compendium of Invincible and about to get on to the next one. And I like that whole universe. And he has Beast is out right now as part of that Invincible universe book. And we'll see what else comes out off of that.
I really like that he's doing this. So again, Invincible, it was such an iconic comic, even when it was coming out, and he really meticulously crafted that world. But that story of Invincible is over, and he spent some time, acquiring the Mattel license. Was it Mattel or Hasbro license?
Hasbro.
So he could do G.I. Joe, Transformers, Void Rivals, that Energon universe. He's doing the Skinbreaker stuff, with David Finch. So it's really nice to see him go back to this world that he really loves, but not forcing a continuation on the Invincible story, but expanding, like you said, with Battle Beast and Capes, expanding on that existing world that is there. So I love that he's doing this. For someone who has not read Invincible, is something like this very accessible to?
Because there's really no mention of Invincible,
right?
In this, and what's really cool is he's smart, right? Yeah. So you've got Invincible season 3, either out already or coming out in our specs, and these heroes are in that season. So there's extra for people who want the extra to get it. So if you're watching the show, not seeing the show, you have the physical copies as well. But then there's familiarity. If you have the show, then you can get some more of those particular characters out there. So he's really smart in the way that he approaches things. And this whole, he could have probably just did Transformers and G.I. Joe together by themselves as their own IP, but then to create this middle void that brings everything together with Void Rivals, I think is just ingenious. Because it allows them, even if they don't do a full-on, live action movie, I think they can tell a really great animated, Void Rivals triangle with G.I. Joe and Transformers,
there is in development an Energon universe animated adaptation. And again, just another example of why Kirkman is the smartest guy in comics, as well as in getting comics into other media, and then and playing with these IPs as far as the Energon stuff. Just does this guy, everything he touches seems to turn to gold, and I hope he doesn't stop, because he is a breath of fresh air for the last 20, 25 years in the comic industry, and has really done so much to bring people into comics with these adaptations.
Yes, and there's been other people that have brought their IP and crossed over to other mediums, not with as much success. And I think the difference with Robert Kirkman is that he really not only believes in what he's doing, but he really loves the original medium, which is the comic. So everything starts with the comic, and then if it expands to another medium like TV, great. But it's not, hey, I'm going to write this down and do this comic so that it can get picked up by Netflix or whatever. And I think that's why there's more success for him, because as a comic fan, you can see it in the pages. You can definitely see it in the creative team that he puts together. He puts the right people together to understand the material that he wants out, and then just the way he writes. You could just see that. So I think, whatever he, like you said, whatever he touches is pretty much just gonna freaking be good. And he's patient, which is fantastic.
And, I think especially with the Invisible cartoon show, he has some creative input, probably more than he did with the live action Walking Dead. But the other thing too is that as the creator, he does know when to step back and let the TV people do the TV things that they need to do and take the story where they feel it needs to go while still remaining true to the spirit of his original version. Yeah. And I think he's really good at that letting go that you need to do when you allow your stuff to be adapted.
And it's freaking insane because if you think about it, he's running Skybound, and I'm pretty sure he has people that are working with him to run the everyday to day, but he's still on the creative end as well.
Oh,
he's still writing.
Yeah.
So he's writing, and then I'm pretty sure he's in meetings and he's making these deals and looking at the future. And he's probably like 5 to 7 years down the road with things that he has to check off on his list and stuff like that.
And how he stealth launched the Energon universe with Void Rivals, which is a series he is writing, but jobbed out G.I. Joe to Joshua Williamson, Transformers to Daniel Warren Johnson, but has now picked up writing on Transformers with issue 25. So again, you're going to start to see more of, I think, his vision of what this shared universe is going to look like going forward. So,
yeah. And Dan Moore on art. Dude is freaking great. It's just great. So cool. So capes from Image Comics, definitely check it out, especially if you're a Robert Kirkman or Invincible fan. You will not be disappointed. And then you had Final Boss also from Image Comics from Tyler Kirkham. Just fantastic artist. Really cool.
Not for the squeamish. So bloody, so good.
There was a lot of blood.
There was a lot of blood.
Yeah, it's just red.
Yeah, it's just a lot of red. Yeah.
Yes.
They're running out of, they're going to, have to pay a lot on the printer for that. But no, it was good stuff, man. I'm like I said, I was pleasantly surprised to just, and happy to just turn off my brain and just enjoy that ride. So
yeah, it was good. All right, cool. And as I mentioned before, look out for probably this Wednesday, the interview with Justin Bartz, the creator of Project Shadowbreed. We're going to have him on so that we can talk about it. Just really excited that we got this campaign funded. Still 20 days to go. So up there on the corner, you'll see the QR code, or you can just go to projectshadowbreed.com. It'll take you right to the Kickstarter page. Think about, supporting some indie creators on this side. All right, kiddies, that's all that we have for you this week. So if you like what you heard, click the likes all over the place. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Better yet, tell 100 of your friends to come over because we're here every single Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you're a creator, want to come onto the podcast, talk about yourself and or a project you got coming up, go to indiecreatorcomics.com. Look for the tab that says podcast form. Fill it out. John and I would love to have you on. We do have actual creators that I think I have about 2 or 3 that are lined up, but we're setting up everything for January. We've got no more for this year. We're going to look at the first of the year for bringing guests on. And last but not least, please, please, please support your local comic shops, because without them, we would not be able to do what we love to do. Now, John's going to tell you where he gets his comics from, and this time I promise you it's not going to be 3 minutes long. John, where do you get your comics from?
Well, I get my comics at The Joker's Child in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. No, I got a little bit more. Yeah, you might have heard the news. Yeah, we did sell our X-Men #1, but boy, we got a whole bunch of other great stuff that you might want to get in on, like a giant size X-Men #1 that is in beautiful condition. We have the first Alfred in Batman, like number 20 or something like that. We got a lot of great. We got first Herbie, FF209. So yeah, come on down to The Joker's Child. Take a look at all these new comics that come out, but also treat yourself or get a nice gift for somebody who likes the old comics, the ones that smell like newsprint and rotting paper. That's what comics are about, folks. Not this glossy stuff. Sometimes it's great, but boy, you want to get that feel of a really old classic comic in your hands. Visit us at The Joker's Child in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, or go to your local comic shop and say, I want your oldest comic and I want to feel that in my hands and I want to give you big money for it, especially time for the holidays. So we would all appreciate that.
I wanted it in my my little Santa stocking there and stuff. All right, guys. Until next time, we want to thank you for joining us on the Indie Creator Comic Podcast, where we are all about independent comics.